This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Ryan Pierce, host of Completely Serious here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Completely Serious, where we talk about sports and have fun with great guests. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Completely Serious. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys,
Coffee with Keith.
and Katie on Public House Media.
Happy to be coming at you again from our north side apartment in Chicago. It's an off week for me. I'm not on the road. It's the one weekend I get throughout the entire football season that I'm not on the road. And
We're actually spending time together.
yep. And this morning was spent watching Manchester United. You can see the shirt, the hat. I like to follow soccer, a different kind of football. You can get it out of the way in the morning with the big time change, and then you can watch American football for the rest of the day.
That's
Anyways.
the thing about the time change is bars will show soccer games here at 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning,
So you can
there
have
will be a
beer.
bar. Even if it's not, there's a Manchester United bar that I've gone to from time to time in Chicago. But even if I don't want to go to that one, there are a number of soccer bars in Chicago that you can check out. But anyway, so it's our weekend together, so we're just chilling.
Yeah.
We're chilling at home, watching some football, and just hanging out. So happy for you guys to be joining us. Katie has her coffee
I
with
do.
her.
And my coffee with Keith and Katie mug.
I have a different kind of coffee with me. Sam Adams Coffee Pale Ale. Now, I thought that since it's the weekend,
Sounds terrible.
and since I'm at home for the weekend, I'm not going to have coffee in the middle of the afternoon like I usually do, but I'm going to enjoy a different kind of coffee. So, Sam Adams Coffee Pale Ale. I saw it at the supermarket the other day with their whole like Oktoberfest, fall specialty packs.
It's
I
like
said,
a fall collection.
yeah, so I'm going to have to give that a try. So, first sip,
Here we go.
Right
this is
now.
an official Sam Adams.
official Sam
glass.
Adams mug. We were in
We went
were in
to
Boston.
We went to Boston last August.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Went on the tour there. Not much to the tour itself,
Of Sam Adams.
but just a lot of drinking. They
Yeah.
put you in a room and they have you sample a bunch of beers for free.
Yeah.
And then at the end they say, hey, you can go to a bar and order a Sam Adams and they'll give you this free glass.
So we got this free.
So we just get a bunch of free beer and then we go to another bar and then we get a free glass
Yep.
for having free beer pretty
Yep.
much. Anyways, great deal. Anyway, first time trying the Coffee Pale Ale. A little darker. A little bit of a darker beer. So, but I'll give her a whirl. Can definitely taste the coffee.
You can.
Yeah. It,
Can I have a sip?
sure. Katie
I
doesn't even
hate-
like
I hate
real
beer.
coffee, and she
I
doesn't
hate
like beer,
beer.
but
And so I just want to see what.
give her a whirl. What do you think?
I can taste the
You
coffee
can,
a
you
little
can
bit.
taste the coffee, right?
Yeah, a little
It's,
bit. Not, and it's both terrible.
It's not just a gimmick. It's a solid beer. It's not something that you're going to have four of, in one sitting. But for a nice afternoon while watching some football, perfect casual drinking beer to have. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty great, especially for someone like us and that likes coffee.
Yeah.
It's great. Just a disclaimer: Sam Adams is not an official sponsor of the show or
Yet.
this episode yet. We're just
We're gonna send them
It
this
just
episode.
right. It just happens to be the brand that I'm drinking right now because they have the Coffee Pale Ale. So in no way is Sam Adams an official sponsor of the show yet. But hey, Sam Adams, If
Give
you
us a
if
call.
you like the show, decide to sponsor us. It'll always be a good decision. See what I did there? All right, Sam Adams, always a good decision. Anyways, since I have the weekend off and I said we're just kind of hanging out here watching some football, it would be a good idea to go over how we did on our football predictions last week. I was in Boston, playing on the whole Sam Adams thing. I was in Boston last week for the Patriots and the Texans game. And Katie predicted that the Texans would beat the Patriots.
37-32 was my prediction.
However,
However,
the Patriots ended up taking care of business. 27-20. I said the Patriots would win in our predictions last week, so I am the winner.
he wins that round.
I win that round. We also predicted another game last week, the Packers and the Bears. Katie predicted the Packers would rattle the Bears.
Yes.
I believe it was 37
to 12.
The Packers did beat the Bears. However, it was not 37-12. It was much closer. I predicted the Packers would beat the Bears. Let me check. Let me check the paper here.
To 14.
31-14. I predicted the final score much closer than either one of us had guessed. It was 24-23 Packers. Great game. However, I was closer with the final score with
Yep.
point spread. So Keith wins the Patriots and the Packers prediction
Yep.
this week.
Good job.
I'm not at a location, so more towards the end of the show, we will only be predicting the Packer Vikings game that is taking place this Sunday.
The only game that matters.
Although we were not away this week, we still had a lot going on, actually. Katie's parents
did.
came in to visit.
Yeah, Mom and Dad came to spend their anniversary with us. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Happy anniversary, Jeff and Jolie.
So we played tourist for a couple of days. I am exhausted. I was following a tour today, and I fell asleep listening to the tour. And it's a great tour.
Fell asleep listening to the tour.
I was sitting in the sun, and all of a sudden they were asking me a question. It was embarrassing. So worn out. The big thing, my dad wanted to do Navy Pier, which is a big Chicago thing for tourists.
For tourists.
For people who live here, don't make us go to Navy Pier.
Navy Pier is
It's fine.
It's fine for what it is. The only thing that Navy Pier has that the rest of Chicago doesn't have is the big Ferris wheel. They also have the Shakespeare Theater.
Yeah.
But those are really the only two things that you can do at Navy Pier that you can't do elsewhere. It's a big strip mall kind of. They have a couple of bigger restaurants. You have Giordano's. You can get Giordano's anywhere.
Harry Carey.
Harry Carey.
Bubblegum shrimp.
I don't know if you can get bubblegum shrimp anywhere else in Chicago. That might be the only location. However, anyways, it's just a bunch of places to eat. It's a pain to get to. It's not really close to public transportation, so you're going to really have to drive. You're going to pay a lot in parking, or you're going to have to take an Uber or a taxi to get there. And there's not a lot to do once you get there unless you're just looking to eat and drink. But at the same time, you can eat and drink anywhere in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
It was fun.
It was fun.
It's fun to do once in a while.
yeah, but
It's not like they have fireworks there every Wednesday during the summer.
do they really?
We're not gonna go watch the fireworks. No interest in that. But it was a fun time. So we went to Navy Pier. We went to the Hancock Building.
Had some drinks on the 96th floor,
yes.
the Signature Lounge.
So-
Always a great place to get a drink if you're in Chicago.
So when you come to Chicago, instead of spending like $35 a person to go to the top of Willis Tower, or the Sears Tower as you know it, go to the top of the Hancock Building and get a $10 beer.
It's free to get up there.
Yeah.
Anybody can go up there, get a drink,
Or just look.
or order some dinner. They obviously have a restaurant up there as well. So it's free to get up there, so you still get the view.
Yeah.
And pay $10 for a beer, $15 for a nice specialty cocktail or something like that, and you get the same experience that you would paying $15 to $20 to go up to the very top of the Sears Tower or
No, I think it's
Willis
$35
Tower.
a person now.
Holy smokes. And you don't even get to see the Sears Tower when you're in it, because obviously you're seeing the rest of the city. The way I see it,
You want to be able to see the
I want to
Sears
be
Tower.
able to see the Sears Tower. Best way to do that, to get some drinks on top of the Signature Lounge at the Hancock Building.
Yeah.
Signature Lounge, also not an official sponsor yet.
Yeah.
However, we are plugging a lot of things in
We
Chicago right now.
What else did we do?
We saw Katie give a tour. Katie's a tour guide at Wrigley, as you all know. So we saw Katie give a tour yesterday.
I gave a tour.
Yeah. And then we went
It
to the
was
Cubs
fun.
game.
Then we went to the
that night.
Cubs game, and I have realized the Cubs have never lost when we have gone to see the game. I
With a good
mentioned
luck
this to my coworkers today, and they suggested a pool so that I could go to every game for the rest of the season. Because we need to win every game for the rest of the season.
I'm all for that. I am all for that.
And I said, that sounds great, but I'm not going to pay to go to, 20 more games? 15?
That's why they got to start a pool, so
Yeah.
they can pay for us to go.
Yep.
Not just Katie, me too.
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely. I'm
it's
not going
both
to go
of
by
us.
myself.
Right. The Cubs have only ever won when we're both there.
Right.
So, speaking of teams that have to win this week, we've come to the part of the show where we, of course, have to do our Packer predictions. Now, with it being the football season and the Packers are out, we are doing Packer predictions instead of our NFL or NBA or Katie's trivia to me, because,
The
as
night
I said,
game.
after doing close to 100 of these shows, we're running out of trivia. So,
People need to make more history.
right. We'll have a whole other season of history once this football season is over with. However, whenever I'm at a location, we'll do predictions for that and the Packer game. However, since I'm not at a location this weekend, we're only doing the Packer game.
Where are you
Packers
going next weekend?
going to Tennessee, seeing
Tennessee.
the Florida Gators play the Tennessee Volunteers. So that'll be very interesting.
That's very cool.
I've been to Knoxville before, and I've seen the campus and the area, but I've never been there for a game, so that atmosphere will be very cool.
Very
But
cool.
yeah, and so you'll have footage of that in future shows, so I can share what I'm up to when I'm on the road. But back to the NFL, Packers play the Vikings. Two
Wait,
straight divisional opponents.
Will Aaron Rodgers be back?
Aaron Rodgers is going to play.
It's been a rough week. It's been rough.
So, Katie,
Yep.
Packers Vikings.
Packers, Vikings. Who's their quarterback now?
Kirk Cousins played for the Washington Redskins last year.
Yeah. So what happened
Good
to
dude.
Sam Bradford and Teddy Bridgewater?
Well, Teddy Bridgewater wasn't with the Vikings last year. Well, where is Teddy Bridgewater now?
Is he a quarterback though?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I forget where Teddy Bridgewater is nowadays. He was with the Jets. Now they let him go. I don't know.
The quarterback is Kirk Cousins.
Yep, Sam Bradford is in Arizona right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. So the Packers are going to win, obviously. They've gotten themselves sorted out from last week. It's going to be a little closer. The Vikings were good last season.
The Vikings
They
were
almost
very
made
good.
it to the Super
They were
Bowl.
very good last season.
I think it's going to be close. I'm going to say 21-17.
21-17 Packers, Katie says.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? That's a really good guess.
Yeah.
It's going to be close. I'm going to close that guy. It's going to be close.
Yep.
I think the Packers are going to pull it out because I think the best thing happened for the Packers last week where they looked terrible,
They did.
but they eventually ended up winning. So you always say you learn more by losing than you do by winning.
It's true.
So the Packers did a lot of learning last week, but still came out with the W because they looked just awful for a while there.
I couldn't
So
watch.
with it being at home, I say that's the one thing that gets the Packers the W. So Packers 24, Vikings 21.
Okay, so you've got a 3-point difference.
I got a 3-point differential. You've
and
got
I've
a 4.
All right,
So
close.
we'll see how it goes. And we'll see if I can go 2-0 to start the year. As long as the Packers win, because as long as the Packers win, we win.
We're all winners.
All right. Well, everyone, this has been Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. We will be back next week as always. We'll see how we do with our predictions.
Yeah.
And I'll have more footage from my journeys on the road. I had my Sam Adams Coffee Pale Ale. Tastes like coffee. I don't know what else you can ask about a beer that's supposed to taste like coffee. Because it tastes like coffee, and hey, it's a pretty good beer. Nice and smooth as it goes down. So
Way to go, Sam Adams.
good job, Sam Adams. This was a good decision. Everyone, have a good week, and we will see you later.